Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. So I've just got the turn a little bit earlier on from my good opponent Alex. So we're going to go ahead and just take a look at what has occurred and try and finish off a little bit more of a turn, actually. Not sure if we'll finish off all today, but we'll endeavour to do our best. I'm going to go ahead and share the link if I can. Alright, we are. There we are. Right, I do need to get the soundtrack separately, then this part will sound a lot better, but I can promise you that will be improved in the future. It'll be more professional. Possibly. One may hope. But yeah. Okay. There we are. We've shared that. Hopefully people should be able to get in here. I think in the future, maybe I may be able to let people know more in advance and then they'll be able to get here. Let's go ahead and get the Twitch app up on my phone, and then we can go ahead and get started. I am eager to see what Alex has done. He did tell me he can see the options that I play, which is fair enough. Like, the game's based on a board game, so it does make sense that you can kind of see what each person is doing. At least in terms of the options. Plus it adds some to the... gives us some idea. I mean, we're not blind about what NATO's doing, so that's okay. Right, we look like we're ready to go. Alright. If you guys are in the chat, do let me know. We'll take a look at the summary here then. So, NATO expended a lot of victory points. Like, we did give them victory points there to play with. We have more cash right now. He spent a lot of treasury. Nuclear tensions up there, so we'll see. So, modernization of the British Army, the Rhine. London accelerates force modernization programs. Some units at 1987 equipment levels. Okay. Minus 15, 20% income. French modernization. Paris accelerates the force modernization program. Some units at 1987. Okay. For defense, in accordance with West German policy, NATO adopts a 4 defense strategy for 4 turns. All NATO units with 2... okay, this is going to be quite painful then. That's a big increase there in VP. Gain +1 combat factor in defense, but -2 MP. We need to try and use that against him then to try and that is for 4 turns. Alright, so for 4 turns, he's not going to be as mobile. He's going to be more defensive, but he's not going to be as mobile. So we need to turn him from our avenues in advance and try and lock him down supply-wise. So, initiate defense of the IGB. Okay, in the German border. This is going to be pretty nasty. The hasty fortifications, minefields. Minefields may very well stop our advances, so that's going to be really tough. We need to make sure that we have engineers where we do advance, because mines are going to be a big problem. We've also got build battle positions, strong defensive positions built by engineering units. Okay, +2. He's really stuck in this, okay. General mobilization, NATO general mobilization successfully initiated in all NATO countries. Provides 10, yes, he's gone for basically the full mobilization. Creation of infantry divisions. US military activates all the reserves and trained units. Hastily organized infantry divisions that intend to form a last line defense in Europe. -20% income adds US divisions, okay. Huge modernization of the US. US noticeably accelerates military modernization programs. Yeesh, this is going to be quite painful. So M1A1s, M2A2s, so that's the Bradleys. We've got German reorganization. My god, these are a lot of painful options. Paris Agreement limit on German rearmament to 12 divisions is rescinded. The Bundeswehr expands, transferring 1 company from each brigade. 2 new combat divisions form. The territorial army has been expanded. Dutch modernization. Michel Goya. This guy's really interesting. It just makes the friendship better, and I just like that. Danish mobilization. Oh, it's going to be painful. Anticipates on war pact, coup de main. Denmark triggers partial mobilization, securing strategic points across the country. Danish territorial units deployed immediately. Okay, so we may not be able to land in Denmark with that. Expansion of the German territorial army and op plan. As part of the general defense plan. Alright. Okay. So units are placed very forward. This is going to be pretty painful. And we don't have access to chemical weapons. The effect stops. Okay, well, it's worth trying. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the actual scene as is then. Oh, gosh, I just realized I forgot to take off the image. I'm so sorry about that. Okay. I'm sorry about that, guys. I forgot to take that off. That's completely my fault. So we'll just go through that once again. Ah, bugger me. Okay. I'm so pro, man. Let me go ahead and just relaunch that. Okay. That was my bad. I completely forgot about that. Because the people in the chat didn't let me know. I'm gonna blame you guys. Alright, let me go ahead and load that up again. Apologies about that. At least I've talked about it, so you guys know what that is. But I'll write in the chat, comment on the video when I upload that to YouTube. That was me just being silly. See, this is what happens when I don't have two screens. Things become difficult to manage. I'm hoping that in the future I might be able to find a place where I can have a second screen. That'd be very nice. If you guys do enjoy this content and you would like to see the series continue and new series in the future, it would be great if you guys could potentially consider hitting that Ko-fi link. I think you can donate at least $5, or you may be able to donate less, but it would be much appreciated. Alright, okay, so it's gone forward there. Well, I can go ahead and show you guys later then, but yeah, you got an idea. I'll show you guys later. That's my bad there. Alright, okay. So, we have our options here then. Apologies about that, I really wish I'd have shown you that, but I forgot to turn it off. Right, okay. There's also Teddy here in the background, so you'll hear Teddy. Okay, Fallschirmjäger unit. I need to see which one this corresponds to, actually. The interesting thing is we do have a lot of victory points to play now. NATO, yeah, 118. NATO is down to 3, so NATO has expended a hell of a lot there. A lot of treasure as well. We have options, and it will be intriguing to see how this happens. So we have airborne operations. Yeah, so units are mobilized 1 turn after drop. Cost of 15 VPs and 2 tension index. We have amphibious operations over here then. Now, and then a nothing card. Let me, needs to be able to drop these back sooner, but we'll see. Things like that can be improved. Okay. So what information can I glean here? Can we put that back? I need to ask the developer if there's an easier way to... There we are. Maybe if I just click in that corner. Oh, I can click in that corner. Oh, that's super cool. Didn't realize about that. Right, no need then. So, what information can we gather here? As far as I can tell, the deployments look about standard. I mean, we're going to be dealing with a much more powerful NATO, but we are a much more powerful Warsaw Pact as well, so things are going to balance out, but it does make every upgrade necessary, really. Everything that we can get is going to be necessary. We need to really consider where we're going to push and really how we're going to use our air power, because we need to win any advantages that we can right now. So, we have here the invasion of Turkey. Warsaw Pact forces invade Turkey to seize the outlets to the Black Sea and thus allow the Soviet Black Sea fleet to easily re-enter the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, Bulgaria attacks from northwest in concert with Soviet troops. Okay. On both axes, logistical difficulties and relative mediocre power of most of the Pact units involved contribute to a slow rate of advance. However, at this point, the Turkish army seems overwhelmed. So you can see that we've gained 10 victory points there for the Pact and 2 index nuclear escalation tension there. We do have a copious and relative. Okay, so let's talk about that. We have tensions on the DMZ. So tensions rise along the demilitarized zone as war rages in Central Europe. Washington and Seoul feel that Pyongyang will seize the opportunity to strike against South Korea. In addition to the increasing incidents along the DMZ between the two countries, US satellite imagery reveals growing concentrations of North Korean forces along the border. They leave little doubt as to the intentions of the communist regime. Both Washington and Seoul know this. Okay. So we have the tensions in Europe as well as worldwide lead to the USSR to increase its preparations for war. Against this backdrop, partial mobilization is decreed, the propaganda is more virulent, the economy begins its transition to a posture of war, and Moscow invites the other countries of the Warsaw Pact to be ready for any eventuality. We do have here the invasion of the northern theatre. Soviet troops reinforced with some Polish and East German elements launched the invasion of Finland, Sweden and Norway. That's pretty impressive. Moscow is well aware that operation is risky and will come up against fierce resistance, but she intends to get rid of a threat to her northern flank. Okay. The interesting thing is, I don't think the US Marine Corps has been deployed to Norway or to the north. So we may have a chance to win in the north, which will help out. It does does generate additional VP for us to use. So that will be interesting. Okay. How many of you are watching right now? There's a couple of you watching now. Say hi if you're in the chat. That'd be much appreciated. So, in terms of how we want to go ahead and do this then. That's great. You can just press that. I didn't realize that. Okay. Season Denmark to begin with would have been really nice, but with the forces deployed immediately, the defensive bonuses that they probably will have, I'm not too sure. I think we'll have to try and win this legitimately, really. So in terms of where we deploy our amphibious forces is going to be interesting. Now, do I go for an invasion of Austria? We're going up against a very strong NATO, so I'm not too sure if I want to open up another front, but in fairness, it does force him to have to consider the Hungarians. The Hungarians are not... So we've got about 65 strength, that obviously varies in terms of what we have, but there's a decent bit of collection. There's about like 2 armies worth there. Hey, didn't drop. Good to have you, my man. Yeah, so there's like, give or take 2 armies worth of Hungarian forces over here. Or about an army's worth, something around that. They had T-62s. Some PMPs over here as well, then. Okay. It may be worth activating... I'm going for the invasion of Austria. We're going to face a lot of resistance over here. It could be useful for us to be able to push through here pretty strong. It does mean that we have another avenue to push over here. Now, it depends really, because if we want to push over here, that can be done. And it's probably worth doing at this point. We need to be pushing against NATO and try and push towards like Nuremberg. I need to force him to expend forces and really try and utilize the manpower advantage I have. Well, saying that, there's a big difference in the units that we have now. Now, Hungary hasn't been mobilized, which is at least something of an issue. But it's not the worst issue in the world. Okay. What we'll go ahead and do then is I will... It is an interesting one though, because if I do invade Austria, I do open myself up on that front, but then he's opened up on that front. He has to respond. With like a turn away from seizing... It might take us about the second turn to seize Austria if we're lucky. But if I do that, it does mean that the forces that would go towards the Czechoslovakian front would then head down here to Austria. Is it worth it for me to do that? Can I invade Austria later? I think I can. I may see how things go before I do that, but then again, this would be the first turn. Maybe an invasion of Austria is worthwhile, because I have forces pre-positioned here to push into Austria. Maybe we force him to... But it does unlock the Italians as well, so do I really want to give him the Italians as well? I'm not so sure. Do I give him the Italians? He gains the Italians, he also has the Austrians then. Or what remains of them. Now, there's victory points to be won along this path. Vienna is worth 10, and it takes 5 away from him. It's also a supply source, but we have supply sources aplenty. Without saying that, actually, where's the supply source over here? Oh, is it just over here in Hungary? Okay. And then Carpathian military district, okay. Carpathian, I should say. Do I want to do that? I think the thing is, as much as it opens up my flank with Czechoslovakia, it means like I can bring the Hungarians to bear. The Hungarians are not challenged over here. The Hungarians just push forward. which does mean that forces are there to push. I could have them supported by Czechoslovakian forces, or I could have them supported by... I could even just use Soviet air power to push through here and then continue these men here. The question comes down to then, is it going to pressure him more, or is it going to pressure me more? I can't use the Hungarian forces if I don't mobilize against Austria. If I mobilize against Austria and declare war on Austria, I can at least push through Austria. But it does give him 2 nations. I'm not using chemical weapons. It's a serious question, actually. Am I going to gain more from declaring war on Austria? Or am I going to lose? It may give us options, because I might be able to push through Austria rather than push along the Czech border. And if I put... Yeah, okay. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. In the future, we may go ahead and reconsider otherwise, but I'm going to go ahead and invade Austria. So that does activate the forces over here, so yes. The Hungarians will be going in here. I could have mobilized them beforehand, but then this is it, isn't it, really? So... we have our airborne operations, we have our amphibious operations. So let's go ahead and go for our amphibious operations. So we've got a number of positions that I can attack here now. I think Denmark is beyond us at this point in time. And I think what we want to go ahead and do here then is mobilize our forces. Is the game loud enough, by the way? It's a little bit hard for me to tell, but I'm going to go ahead and up the volume a little bit, because the soundtrack is absolutely baller. I'll go ahead and go to 95. Alright. I think we potentially land our forces here, and then at least that does mean that they can actually help out on this front here, because securing the north is going to be pivotal. Absolutely pivotal. Alright. Otherwise, these forces would have been held in reserve, really. They're not the most powerful, but they can at least fight. And I think I will go for an invasion here. As far as I'm aware, this isn't occupied. I could invade the north. The problem is, I really wanted to go for Denmark, but the problem is I can't. Had he not mobilized in Denmark, maybe I could have taken Denmark. But that would have been really just forcing everything there. So I'm going to go ahead and land here just to the north of Lübeck. That does mean at least we have additional forces here to play. Assuming this is not occupied, but we'll see. Alright, okay. So, we do also get a picture of what's going on here. We can see there's a German force over here to the north in Kiel. So at least we're aware of that. We can go for airborne operations now. This one over here, breakout sector. Alright. At least 3 Pact units engaged in the battle. Yeah, that +2 combat factor is going to be important. Da-da-da. So we'll go ahead and go for airborne operations then. Now this is where the serious question comes. Where do I deploy these forces? I think I'd freaking love to deploy down here in the Netherlands. Maybe in future games. I cannot guarantee it would work. It'd be a hell of a move. It would be a very powerful, very bold move, but I just cannot guarantee it. I just can't. Same as deploying over here, like at Darmstadt. How are you going to pronounce that? That'd be great. That'd be a pro gamer move. I could deploy over here to the north of Munich. We have activated the Italians, which is going to pose a problem because they'll be coming up here. It does mean that I might be able to link up with forces, but there's going to be forces over here. I think what we want to do then is consolidate victory. Lingen over here. I could attempt to take out the US forces, the reinforcement positions. They're called Pumpkas, I believe. So basically pre-positioned forces. I could attempt to maybe go for Bremen early. If I at least contest Bremen, it may prevent reinforcements moving to the north, but the British Army of the Rhine is over here, and they could be redeployed. The difficulty is here then, okay. We've got the amphibious forces over here. I could land hard with the airborne, the VDV. I could do that. Now these are pretty capable forces. I could essentially try and take out the Danish forces and prevent them from linking up, but I think what I want to go ahead and do is I don't know. Over here, I cannot be guaranteed that this is empty, but there is at least a defender's. It's a -2 to the attacker, however. This is 0-0. Excuse me. There's a big part of me that wants to go bold, you know what I mean, and like really go for it. This one over here is actually interesting as well, El Hungern, because at least that does enable me to support my push over here. It also does enable me to somewhat secure it. Like this area over here is not too strong right now, but I want to try and prevent his forces either from escaping or from reinforcing him. I feel like potentially here, but it would be nice to move over here and secure that. But I think if I could try and secure Bremen, that would be a big deal. I don't know if I'd be able to secure Bremen in that way, but I think I'm going to go ahead and try. So I'm going to choose here to land. And even like Oldenburg would be useful, but I can't really guarantee that much right now. Oh, it's such a bold move. I have really no idea what to expect over here against the Dutch. I mean, if I was able to take out Amsterdam, that would be a pretty big move. But that's assuming a lot. That is assuming so much. There's so much potential forces around here that I just do not know about. In future games, we'll become more adept and then try things like that. But right now, I can't guarantee it. I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to try and focus on trying to take out Bremen. I think that's what we'll do. Alright, okay. We also do gain some invaluable, very valuable information about what's around here. So we can see some US forces over here, we can see some Dutch forces over here. Right. The US forces over there at Bremen don't look that strong, but I can't be certain. What I'm going to go ahead and do then is really reinforce this. I think I cannot consider a piecemeal with the US forces, sort of the airborne forces. These VDV divisions are pretty strong, but they're not. I want them to stick around, so I'm going to focus on the north. We do get an idea of where the enemy is deployed here as well. So I'm going to deploy a couple divisions over here to towards Bremen. And try and seize Bremen if I can. Alright, there we are. There's no point really playing that one. In the future, these cards may be hidden, but I'm not too sure. So let's take a look then. So we have the 7th VDV, we have the 98th, and we have the 106th VDV. So these are good forces. These are very good forces. In terms of what I can expect at Bremen, I have no idea, but I'd love to try and get some reconnaissance on Bremen. If I could seize the city of Bremen, that'd be great. I could always like try and turn against these forces. I can be at least assured that our forces will catch up and then the VDV divisions will serve alongside their brethren and actually be pretty mobile. Like, they've got decent air defense and air attack too, at least some of them anyway. ASUs over here are pretty awesome. Right, we'll move forward then. Alright, I think that's everything we can do right now. So we've got reinforcements. I would love to use tactical and nuclear weapons at this point in time, but I've sworn off it as you guys voted for it, so we will go against that. So large reinforcements provided to exploit the amphibious operations launch, +1 combat factor to all units engaged in an amphibious operation. So yeah, we'll reinforce them here. I'd love to use tactical nukes, I swear to God, my man. I swear to God, I'd love to use them, but I can't. Not this time. So we'll push forward. Alright, now we have the air mobile units, which obviously have a greater room for maneuver. I mean, I could move over here. We know that Lüneburg is empty. We know that these are empty. Well, at least we are theorizing they're empty. I love the music. I mean, this looks like the Dutch forces over here. This I'm not too sure if it's empty or not. Alright. See, with this being a city, I can't outright take that tile. Or at least I can't outright guarantee it. Okay. Now this would, I mean, this is likely to draw the attention of the British Army around, but we'll see. I could deploy potentially here. I'm looking to block roads and block movement. Seizing this would be actually really quite useful. I might be able to then move across. It does mean that I might be able to link up to my supply lines pretty quick. I could deploy here so they can't retreat, and I think I probably will go for that. Right, so there's enemy forces over here potentially. I'm going to really concentrate on that one. Right, okay. So in terms of where we deploy here is going to be another question. I could try to deploy in Nuremberg, and had I gone in... I actually can't remember if the airborne could deploy there. Maybe. I'm not too sure if they could, actually. I can't recall now. He is pretty interesting. Over here is very interesting as well, because I could try to prevent the US forces from retreating, but I cannot guarantee this is empty, which is a bit of a problem. I don't really know that much about it. I can't deploy elsewhere, so I think I'm going to have to deploy down this way. There's very likely to be German forces around here. So it does come down to like where you deploy. We'll try here to begin... Well, we'll try here to begin with. Alright, apparently there's combat, but I can't see with what. So it may be that they just drop. Let me just reinforce this then. Alright, there we are. This is going to be scary. Okay, so I can mobilize these Polish... There we are. Right, unsupplied units. I don't know why that one's always considered... I guess because they've obviously just moved forward, they're amphibious, aren't they, after all? Alright, so we have our naval movement now. So, in terms of what information we have, so we can see there's a German force over here. We've landed over here. And that's a pretty strong force to land with. There's forces over here. There's not... I mean, maybe I should have really built up the forces I had here. But the question is... I mean, the problem is... 20... I could only get about 20 in there. Maybe I should have gone with more there. Yeah, maybe I should have committed more to it. But then again, this is it. Season Bremen is useful, but I need to be able to do more than just that. The aim of these guys over here is I can try and move on to Hamburg quickly. Maybe they can move in and try and push him off, or at least prevent him from reinforcing. We'll see. Kind of regret those now, but I guess it is what it is. Right, so there's a force over here. If they can take that out, that'd be useful. There's only a little bit there. So there's not all that much over here. We have a good bit of information. What I'm hoping to do here then is just basically cut off the US forces over here at Fulda. We'll see if I can try and move to the river line, and then try and drive north. That'd be useful. I guess we'll see. Now, okay. So we have our naval forces here. This is just a victory point thing. Discrete ships, yep. Okay. Let's just move forward where we can. Okay, these ones over here, because they actually are pretty viable. So markers representing deception, naval, electronic warfare. It would be great to try and take out NATO's navy, or at least the federal German navy around here. I don't know how, I think they may contribute with bombardment.